What is good, Defenders Nation, and welcome. It's the night before the match, so you know what that means. It's time for your favorite night before the match segment here on the LAFC social media universe. It's time for one more sleep. This is Defenders of the Bank, and it's time for leg 2 of the round of 16 CONCACAF Champions Cup in Columbus, going to lower.com field. You know my voice, it's the Scarf, J.R. Liebert, and recording live from world famous Philomonster Studios, my partner in pod, one Christian, Philly Philemon.
Hello, Los Angeles. That's 2 pods in a row for me. This is fantastic. I would like to start off one more sleep with a little limerick, if you will, Scarf.
Okay.
Leg 2 versus the Crew. Which team will go through? Will it be our favorite team? Because if it ain't, I'll kick and scream. Either way, we're up by 3. Going forward is LAFC. That's right. Starting this bad mother trucker off with a limerick. Scarf, this would have been a much more stressless game if we were able to put away some of those sitters that we missed last week. It would have been less stressful if we didn't concede 5 goals on the road against Seattle. It would have been less stressful if it was any other team. But here we go again, us and the Crew for round 2. Bring on the brew. Let's crack them open. You can, I can too.
There once was a team from Columbus. Now, I couldn't do a limerick on the spot, but I like it, my friend. That's pretty solid. Look, at least we're going in there up 3-0. Look, I do teach middle school math for a living, and what I know for sure is the little byline underneath my name there. It says just score 1, because if we can manage to put just one past Columbus in Columbus, that makes the math all but impossible. But wait, as long as we don't lose 5-1, and Philly, just because I want to add a little bit more stress to everybody's day, can we please remind all of the millions what the score was last season when they beat us at BMO?
5-1.
Yeah, there you go. So as long as we don't do that again, as long as, I don't know, we don't give up 5 goals 2 matches in a row after having like the best defense in MLS for the first 4 match days, it's going to be really interesting. Here's what I do know, Philly. I do know that this is the matchup that drives a little bit of fear and trepidation into the hearts of everybody, even though we won 3-0.
Oh, clearly. I mean, everybody was so afraid when Columbus came into town. They all stayed home. 8,000 people at BMO. I say that tongue-in-cheek, of course. Look, I understand why a lot of people didn't show up. There's a lot of things we could talk about, but that's neither here nor there. At the end of the day, they're the ones that are in the hot seat. Yes, Diego Rossi, I believe you are going to contribute to this. Yes, and thank you for joining us once again. Look, they're the ones that are in the hot seat. You said it. All we need is one little jab takes down the big, bad, nasty Columbus Crew. But as history has shown recently, we've had a tough time against these lads. 4 wins, 3 losses, 0 draws all time, and just a mere 2-2-0 in Columbus. And dare I remind you all, if we aren't suffering from enough PTSD, that we have met each other 3 times in knockout competition format, where Columbus does have the edge. And oh yes, the 2023 MLS Cup Final and the 2024 Leagues Cup Final. One word to sum all of that up: yuck.
I got one more word for you too. Goldfish, right? That's what we got to be. Goldfish. What we can't think about is the 5-2 drubbing in Seattle, although there were a couple of positives, and I don't think it was nearly as bad as the scoreline looked, because that lineup that we had over the last 30 minutes or so, not the lineup that Steve Cherundolo would have picked to ever finish a match that actually meant something. I know it meant something. There were 3 points on the line, but breathe. It was the 3rd match day out of 34. We'll be okay. What Columbus has to do is be a little bit of a goldfish, because I watched that entire match that they just played at home against a middling at best Houston Dynamo team, where they held Houston Dynamo to just 1 shot on target and really dominated the run of possession. But the problem is possession all for naught. They had one, I repeat, one good chance over 90 plus minutes, and it was a beautiful save by, I believe it's Andrew Tarbell, the goalie for Houston now. I mean, they had one positive out of the entire 90 minutes. So Columbus doing a bit of soul searching as well. Granted, they didn't give up 5, they didn't give up any, but they didn't put any past a rather middling Houston Dynamo team either.
Roster rotation, and truthfully, the only team that we could tip our hat off to as far as really just giving it their all, despite having a CONCACAF Champions Cup game going forward, is the team that whooped the crap out of us recently, the Seattle Sounders. But anyway, we've already exercised those demons. Columbus is Columbus. Obviously, they're a team that is operating post-Cucho. You said it, no goals in their last game, but they have put up some good results. We've got the same exact record as they do in the MLS regular season, and so it'll still be a tough competition nonetheless. I still would have felt a lot better if Martinez would have put that ball in on that bottom left corner where the dust mites dwell. 3-0 is not a crazy, unsurmountable lead, in particular when you're playing at home in front of a very crazy, rabid, and passionate crowd. I said this on the other podcast. I venture to guess there will be quite a few more fans at lower.com field than 8,000. Willing to take a bet on that. I'm not sure I'm going to necessarily lose, but let's just get Razzmatazz going and goaling.
I don't know what that means, but I love it.
Neither do I. I'm just making up words.
Yeah, look, 7,285 just isn't quite doing it, but we'll see what happens. All right, let's get right into it because, look, we all know the players in this game. We all saw the 3-0 win. We all know what's happening going into lower.com field. So I'm going to give you my players to watch, and I completely agree with Genuine Cougar. That David Martinez goal was absolutely worth the price of admission. This kid is special. And as much as I love Nate the Great, I just think David Martinez is built for moments like this, moments where we need just one bit of magic, and that pretty much puts the nail in the coffin. Yes, we know Denis Bouanga can deliver moments of magic. And yes, we know that Jeremy Abobasi and Nathan Ordaz and plenty of other players can score goals. But if you need one player to have the smallest amount of space with the most amount of confidence right now, I'm going with David Martinez because of the way he's scored both of his goals that we all remember so far this year. Absolutely love this kid. The only player to have any type of success against Houston a couple of days ago was indeed Mo Farsi, if not for a great play by Andrew Tarbell, a ball over the top to Mo Farsi, which was one of the few times in the entire match that they played a ball over the top. And Mo Farsi was able to get on the other end of it, play it beautifully, and if not for a great Andrew Tarbell save, we're talking about them coming off a 1-0 win and securing 3 points, even though they did at least somewhat rotate their roster, though not as heavily as we did. He's the only guy that did anything for them, and I think he's got a little bit of a momentum, but I also think that they might have found something or think they found something with this ball over the top play, which they really hadn't done against us at all. So we'll see if that's a new wrinkle in it. David Martinez, Mo Farsi.
All right, I like it. When it came to Columbus, there were so many different players you could have picked from. Normally Steven Moreira is a player that shuts down Denis Bouanga very well. But since Columbus's go on the attack, I don't think Moreira is going to have to worry about Denis Bouanga as much. Also, the fact that it's Ramadan, Moreira does observe it. Think the fasting could be something that took him away from my mindset as far as players to watch. It could have been Amundsen, a player to watch. It could have been Arvsteen, who looked pretty good against us at BMO. Just a short week ago. But for me, I'm going to go with the obvious one in this case. I'm going to go with Diego Rossi. At the end of the day, and not only because he's in the chat, by the way. The reason why I'm going for Diego Rossi is, Well, it's really him and Russell Rowe that have carried the offensive workload in the 3 games for the Columbus Crew. He's got 2 goals. He's got 9 shots, 4 of them on target, 2 of which are goals. That's some pretty nice efficiency by Diego Rossi. He's passing the ball at a really good rate. I mean, he's doing solid. And if there's anything that he also does that makes me nervous, in particular when it's at home and in the box, as we know, when he was a member at LAFC, he was a significant part of the Uruguayan diving team. So he's the kind of player that's going to draw attention and try to look for these cheapy fouls to entice the officials to blow the whistle and let him have a free kick. And when he has a free kick, tough player to stop. But then again, he's going to be going against Hugo Lloris and not Thomas Hasal. So I'm going to go with Diego Rossi for the Columbus Crew. Normally for LAFC, I picked Hugo Lloris last time. I was thinking about picking a defender this time. I can't always go with Denis Bouanga, so I'm going to go in the middle, literally in the middle, with a midfielder in that Amarky Delgado, who, in my opinion, has been the best player for LAFC this entire season. Anytime he's hit the pitch, he's played with a lot of confidence, and he's been a nice link between the backfield and the forwards. I think if we're going to get that one goal, in some way, shape, or form, it's going to come from him distributing the ball to one of our up-and-coming young charging forwards, which, that being said, could it be Denis Bouanga getting a goal against his old buddy, Steven Moreira, or would it be the youngsters again, Nathan Ordaz or David Martinez? I don't know, but either way, I think Delgado's going to be a big part of the game.
No argument with your comment either that Mark Delgado has been our best player so far. I absolutely agree that Mark Delgado has been our best player so far, and I think we're going to see him be involved plenty in the action. A couple people in the chat have asked about Marlon. According to Steve Cherundolo said Marlon will be ready, quote unquote, very soon, which means absolutely not in this match. I would be surprised if we see him over the next couple of weeks. As far as I am concerned, unless we know something about the health of Maxime Chanot and Lorenzo De La Valle, and we know we have depth in that back line, sit Marlon for as long as he needs to get healthy.
Well, Josh Gross asked Steve in the press conference earlier about Chanot, and Steve said sooner rather than later. So we're not going to be seeing Chanot tomorrow either.
That's what I'm saying. We got to sit Marlon no matter what.
Yeah, and then Fluffhead in the chat, who scores first, Giroux or under? Oh, what's the over and under on under? What's the over and under on under? Yeah, I'm going to say he's going to score the next goal before Giroux does.
I love it. Look, the over-under that he actually plays, I'm actually intrigued by this, and we'll see in just a second.
Whether he plays the next game or the next 2 games, it doesn't matter. I still think he's going to get a goal before Giroux.
Where's Ben Skolnick? He kind of joked in the chat that we're going to play that old 9-1 formation. I completely agree. In fact, I think it's going to be even worse. And here's what I mean by that. I don't mean that we are just going to sit and park the bus over the course of 90 minutes. No, that is not what I'm saying at all. But what I am saying is that the priority for players like David Martinez and Denis Bouanga and whoever else starts in that 9 position, I firmly believe it'll be Jeremy Ebobisse. I think if those 3 players start up top, I think the priority needs to be tracking back unless you have numbers. And I think we are going to see 5, 6, 7 players back at times defending space. And I really do believe that we are going to see a team that looks like at times we are playing with as many as 11 defenders. I know Denis Bouanga or David Martinez can leak out, and like Sierra Canyon's high school basketball offense back when they had the Ball brothers, it could be a cherry-picking festival out there. And I think that would be how we maybe get a really good opportunity in the first half. But if we can get to halftime 0-0, then I think what we're looking at is a just bus-parked second half, and we grind the game to a halt. 11 defenders, it'll look that way from time to time.
Give me 1 second, Scarf. I want to address a question by Rob in the chat. Okay. My nickname for Giroux is Mu Giroux. And I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Yet again, I'm going to repeat myself. Mu Giroux. And thanks to the wonderful people at Google Translate, Mu means limp. Limp Giroux. Mu Giroux. There we go. That's his name until he does something otherwise. All right.
If that's grammatically correct, leave it to
Mous.
yeah.
And I'm hitting
No,
the translate thing.
leave it to French to be poetic about even being limp, right? There you go. All right.
Yeah, I mean,
Philly.
it just sounds nice. Look, absorb and react. I mean, those are going to be the keys to the game. There is a something to be said about attacking and trying to score the first goal, but haven't really done that against Columbus on a number of occasions. We've normally just sat there, let them dictate the pace, absorb everything that they have to throw at us, and beat them on the counter, which is exactly what I think is going to happen. I do think that we are going to kick back and chill. We're going to not park the proverbial bus, because what Steve did say is he wants to win. He absolutely wants to win, because wins give you the benefit of the doubt in terms of home field advantage in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. He's not going into lower.com field just to simply get a draw or a favorable result. He wants to win. And a favorable result is not a draw, or it's not 2-1 them. It's a win. So that's what they're going for. And the way it's going to happen is by us absorbing and beating them, as we've done on a number of teams this historically, beating them on the counter. That's what I think we're going to do.
Look, you're absolutely right. We beat them on the counter last game. We played extremely well, did exactly what we had to do, beat them on the counter. And look, it's how we have to play against Columbus in this match. We know that for sure. And I think we do get an early goal. But I mean, maybe I could have stuck the picture of Debbie Downer up here too. But I'm going to leave y'all actually pretty happy with my score prediction, because I really do think a 1-1 draw is in order. I think we're actually going to get the first goal. And look, this is going against whatever Vegas will tell you should happen once we score the first goal, because then a Cucho-less crew, giggity, has to open up their field of play. And if you want to get into a track meet with Denis Bouanga and with David Martinez and with the offense that we have been able to show when we get a team to open up early, what we can do, I like our chances a lot. But I actually do believe, I really do believe, we're going to get the first goal, and it's going to be a bit of magic off of David Martinez's foot. And that is going to not just turn the match on its head, but then Columbus knows they have to score 5 just to advance. Even if they score 4, we still advance on a 4-4 aggregate because of that one goal. So I think that takes all the wind out of their sails, and we won't have to press and be on the attack nearly as much if we get the first one. So I'm turning Vegas on its head. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw, but I do think we score first.
I like it. Y'all are going to like my prediction very much, because I do think that the Columbus Crew are going to win at home. Yes, I said it. I hate that I'm saying it, but I do believe with the amount of aggression that they're going to come out with, they are going to be the team that is going to become victorious in the match. But that being the case, only by a result of 2-1. I do not see them scoring enough goals to beat us in aggregate, and I do not see us getting shut out either. We're going to get the one, and it's going to be all done that way. That is my prediction. You want to go back to the beginning of the pod? I had a little limerick, and it ended with going forward is LAFC. So that is my take. 2-1 Crew, but either way, we advance to take on Inter Fort Lauderdale.
Don't count out Cavalier FC.
So they're only up 2-0. You're not wrong. Yes. I mean, 2-0, yeah. They got less of a hill to climb than Columbus Crew does.
Look, I think they're going to win the second leg 2-0 too. I think it's going to absolutely be the Fighting Ibises of Inter Fort Lauderdale against LAFC. And look, we all know what that could get us. I don't want to count the chickens before they hatch, but seeing that Victoria's Secret kit at BMO Stadium on one Lionel Messi is all I can think about. And I know a lot of people that opted in for Leagues Cup for Champions Cup are going to be very, very excited to sell their ticket for quite a bit of profit with Mr. Lionel Messi coming into town. And look, the bottom line is this, right, Philly? anytime you get to see potentially the greatest player in the history of the sport do what he does, it is must-see TV. So you and I are both very excited. If and or when we get through this second leg of the round of 16, if Miami is the one coming, you and I are going to be very excited to be able to see Lionel Messi at home.
You talk about the Victoria's Secrets kit. I mean, with all the players, with all the star-studded affair that you're going to see at BMO, you're going to see Victoria's Secret models at BMO. It's going to be awesome. That celebrity list that went to BMO when Inter Miami was in town last time was really impressive. Yeah. Really impressive. We bumped into quite a few people. You literally got hit by David Beckham's security guard. It was, I mean, I'm looking forward to more stories like that, but can't look too far down the pipe. We still have to get by Columbus. Columbus, still a very dangerous team, and we're not out of the woods. We got to go out there and really give it the same exact effort that that LAFC gave this past last week. It was a Tuesday, I believe. So it's not going to be an easy endeavor, but yes, I doubt we're going to play anybody other than Inter Miami. And hey, guess what? If we can get by Inter Miami, we may not have to worry about playing another MLS team in the next round.
Hey, look, we might get to see Victoria Beckham there, not just Victoria's Secret. That's
yes, that actually would have been a much more clever thing to say. I'm an idiot.
Either way, look, you guys, we know who the big players are in this one. It's Columbus Crew, it's LAFC, and this has been one more sleep. Philly's got he's over there. Philly's got a 2-1 loss. I've got a 1-1 draw. Both of you, everybody can hate on both of our predictions. That's totally fine. But I think at the end of the day, with either of those results and or something better for us, then we move on. Rob, completely agree. It's supposed to be an international tournament, but all we've done is see. I mean, Florida is kind of like another country, the way that they do things over there. So I don't know, maybe. And look, I don't want to hear about playing Vancouver. I want to play Cavalry FC.
Vancouver's actually playing really well this year. I would not want to play Vancouver. They're 3-0.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But looks like, what is it? Who's hurt? Brian White or Ryan Gauld? One of the two is hurt. So maybe that'll slow them down a little bit. But either way, that doesn't matter. We're talking about Columbus Crew. I've got 1-1. Philly's got 2-1, the bad guys. Let us know what you guys think. Hit us up on all your social media platforms. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Head on over. There's Ruben. Ruben, I beat you to it for the first time. And look, if you want, head on over to defendersbank.com/shop. Maybe you purchase something. Use code Defenders20. Save a little bit of money. Hit us up if the code doesn't work, but it should be. And we love you guys so much. You know how we like to end each and every one of those episodes, Philly?
Bye-bye.
Uh-oh, where's the thing? There it is.